So thanks for being here. Let me bring up my slide here, and we're then going to go into our topic for today. It's pretty much we started last week talking about staying five steps ahead, right? That's the title of a chapter. It's about thinking ahead, and Bethany says 5 steps. A synonym to that is when we say thinking about the big picture, right? There's a big picture thinking, it's strategic thinking, and we'll go into that as I bring up my slide. So let me bring up a slide and we'll just shoot for today. Thanks. All righty. So let's go into the meat of it all, right? It's talking about what staying 5 steps ahead. I mean, we did some kind of introduction to it last week, so let's expand it more. When you talk about 5 steps ahead, that's not necessarily a new word. It's what we call strategic thinking, as again being tactical, right? Strategic thinking is what you do long term, right? Tactical thinking is what you do short term. Another word we use in this for is when we talk about being in the frame or outside of the frame. When you look at the frame of a picture, when you are in the frame, or you can't see the whole frame. You are lost in the tiny little details in the frame, right? And if you do that, you will miss it from a big picture thinking. You'll be lost in the details in the immediate, and you cannot see the future, right? So already beginning to talk about some of the issues, right, in differentiating the two. The two are important. The tactical is important for what you're doing immediately, but someone's got to be thinking beyond just immediate, because the immediate feeds into the future. So if you're lost in your immediate, you might be missing the things that are changing in your environment, such that you become old-fashioned. Right, and we know of different examples of big companies that are folded up because they got lost in the immediate. They were not thinking of the future. They were not strategic in their thinking. They were only tactical. It was how we're making money today. Oh, money today, money today, money today. But they could not see the future, so they were not prepared for the future that hit them. Right, they were lost. They were dinosaurs that could not live in the new age in the 21st century, right? So it's so those are two different ways of looking at it also. So Graham Richardson describes the big picture thinking. It says it's seeing the whole. It's not just looking at one part. It's just like the general thing we talk about, seeing the elephant. Elephant is big, so you're looking at it compared to a small child, right? The small child might see the legs and say, "Oh, the elephant is a big leg." Someone else might be at the tail. The elephant is a tail. Someone else might be at the trunk. The elephant is a trunk. Someone else might be at the what do you call this thing again? Prudent stuff, right? There's a word for it. It's not coming to my head right now. That's the onk, right? The onk, or the whatever that is. You might look at the ears and say that is the elephant. All of those are different parts of the elephant, but on their own they don't make the elephant. It takes the whole of the elephant, all of what we have said, to make the elephant. And that's where businesses miss it, when they only focus on the leg, the tail. You miss the whole. You don't even know how those things connect with one another. So you might just be running on your own, and you're running off the elephant, right? You're making the elephant's leg bigger than the elephant can carry, right? Now you're making the ears bigger than it can use. Right? Anything we do, we must never lose sight of the connection it has to the whole, right? Because if we run without looking at the connection and we're disconnected, we'll become useless, right? We're only as useful and profitable to the extent that we're connected to the whole, right? So that's what it means to be big picture thinking, to be thinking 5 steps ahead. You're not full of yourself, right? You're not just running on a track that does not make sense, right? You want to make sense of everything that you do, right? Because you're in it to make profit. You're in it for the long term, not just the short term, right? And that's important. So Graham emphasizes the fact that when we do a big picture thinking, taking 5 steps ahead, what we're trying to do is we're trying to see the whole picture. We're not just lost into just the part that we're contributing into, right? It takes several parts to make the whole picture. Take, for instance, the making of a car. Some people have to do those what do they call those things again? Those electrical units, that became scarce, such that it affected car production, right? Those are small parts, but they're very important, integral part of the car. If they are not done well or to size, the car gets affected, right? If they're not done in such a way that it links up, coordinates with the car make design, is useless, right? So when we do a big picture thinking, we're not lost in ourselves. We're not lost in our unit. We are looking at how we tie to the whole picture, how we're tied to the whole industry, how we're tied to the whole ecosystem, right? And it's not that we do things and throw it over the fence. It's that we understand how what we're doing affects the next person, our customers, right? Affects our stakeholders also, right? And so it helps us to be able to then amaze them, right? You know that you have customers, you have stakeholders, you whatever you do must in a way positively affect these people. Otherwise, whatever you're doing is useless. You're not profitable, you're not for the long term, right? Those are the benefits, of being big picture thinking, looking 5 steps, thinking 5 steps ahead, right? So Graham goes on and says that the ability to comprehend the context of the matter, right? So when you're big picture thinking, you're understanding the context. The other day in one of the WhatsApp group, I posted something and someone just jumped into it. He had no clue the context in which I posted it, but he was already making judgment on the context he does not understand. He was just full of himself and assumed that what I posted was in a certain context, which was not in the context that I posted it. And I was even canceling him. I'm saying, hey, don't rush into judgment. First of all, ask questions and understand the context. Then you can make your own thinking visible, right? But if you don't understand the context, you can never be able to give a right comment on the thing you're looking at. So when we talk about the big picture thinking, staying 5 steps ahead, you're understanding what is the context, in what environment, in what ecosystem am I inside? How do I affect my ecosystem? How does my ecosystem affect me, right? And I begin to prepare and work towards that.